I don't consume any meat. Karine Jean-Pierre, when asked about risk of U.S. milk and meat supply from bird flu epidemic in cattle, I told you these elitists do not care about you. Well, I don't eat any of this meat, so why should I care about bird flu? Because your administration and your boss is supposed to be in charge of running the country and caring about everyone in this country, not just themselves. So she shows the elitism when it comes to the bird flu epidemic in cattle. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that and her disrespect, and this is what happens when you don't hire people on merit. You hire people because they check off diversity boxes. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. Now, I'm going to show the clip in a little bit. But this comes from the Gateway pundit, Christina Layla. And she reports that White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Wednesday was asked about the risk, the risk to the U.S. milk and meat supply from the bird flu outbreak. The Food and Drug Administration last month confirmed that traces of bird flu have been found in commercial milk, but claims it's safe to drink anyway. The FDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are still investigating the contaminated milk. Dairy cows in Idaho, Kansas, Michigan, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Texas, and South Dakota have tested positive for the type A H5N1 virus. A White House reporter asked KJP about the contaminated meat and milk, and she made it about herself. Of course, because she's an elitist. So I'm gonna play this clip here. Here we go. Let's hear it from her herself.
What's your current assessment of the risk to the U.S. Milk and meat supply from the bird flu epidemic in cattle?
Yeah, so I know that the Department of Agriculture has been on top of this. I know that they are not seeing any concerns to milk or any of the cattle or the meat that we're consuming. Well, I don't consume meat, but some of you, all of you out there, and so obviously they are taking this very seriously. They're monitoring the situation. As far as we understand it to be, is that they believe that milk and consuming meat is safe.
And from a
well, Karine, we don't care if you are eating meat or not. We don't care about that. We care about, is our meat safe or not? Well, Karine Jean-Pierre is the most incompetent White House press secretary ever. Major DEI affirmative action failed. According to a new report by the New York Post, Steve Nielsen, Biden's surrogates tried to oust White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre last October, but failed. And y'all know I did a report on that as well. And recall that on the first day of her job as White House Press Secretary in May 2022, Karine Jean-Pierre wanted the reporters in the briefing room to know how special she was because she is a black lesbian. Again, none of that should matter. It shouldn't matter who you choose to have sex with. We don't care anything about that. We care, are you good at your job? Merit based. Don't care anything about any of that other stuff. But quote, she said, quote, I am obviously acutely aware that my presence at this podium represents a few firsts. I am a black, gay immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position. I would not be here today if not for the generations of barriers breaking people before me. I stand on their shoulders, the 49-year-old daughter of Haitian immigrants said. Karine Jean-Pierre is the most incompetent White House press secretary ever. I 1000% agree. She is the worst. Because at least Jen Psaki, circle back Psaki, was decent at her job. She was good at lying and covering for Biden. Karine Jean-Pierre is just terrible. She just reads verbatim from her book about what to say, and it comes off as her not knowing anything. But major DEI affirmative action failed. Now, according to the New York Post, Mild Lover, White House Comms Director Anita Dunn, and White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients tried to nudge KJP to resign gracefully, but she won't leave. Of course not. She believes she's entitled to this job. She believes she's doing an awesome job. That's just as, and she's a narcissist. So of course she's not going anywhere. But the Biden White House can't fire Karine Jean-Pierre because she's a black lesbian, and that would be bad optics, of course. So they're stuck with her, and she's going to continue to do a terrible job. And this is what they get for doing these DEI check-in box hires. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest news. Until next time, peace.